when you're taking your kids to a festival where there's fellas in arseless leather chaps French kissing each other, that's not right. Hello everybody, welcome to the Just Passing Through podcast. As you can probably hear, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that I am mobile today. Been on holiday now for about 3 weeks. Already 25% of my holiday is over. So I've got another 6 weeks left. Which, if I were at my old job, I'd be going, oh God, I've only got 6 weeks left. But because I'm working somewhere nice, I'm not too bothered. So my days now involve, I get up in the morning about 5 o'clock. I teach online until about 6:30. I get myself out on the water. I go for a kayak, come home, lift some weights, and then in the evening I get myself out on my bike, which is where you see me today for this episode. And I'm just going to stop here for them watching on YouTube and just show you the paradise in which you find me. There we go. I'm in Hayama at the moment. I'll be heading over there where the gap is. I don't know if you can see through the fence, but where the gap is, that's where we're heading now. And that's where I'll be doing the podcast from. Just headed up through Hayama now, and I just want to tell you about something that I've been not dealing with. I don't deal with shit. But on Facebook, there is a page which I've been a member of for about 4 years now. Now, when I joined, there were only 4,000 members of this page on Facebook, and it's called Solitary Cycling. And it's for people who just want to get out there on their own and cycle. Now, there is not a single page on Facebook, online, or anywhere on the internet that is more suited to that page than me. Solitary cycling. I absolutely adore cycling. But if you were to come to me and say, well, I enjoy cycling too, Darren. Why don't we go out for a cycle? Don't fucking bother. Because I'm just going to say no. I don't want to go cycling with anybody. I don't want to join a cycling club. I don't want to be part of a cycling group. I just want to throw my leg over the saddle and get out there. And just tell the world to go and fuck itself for about an hour and a half. The best part of my day. So what better thing to do during the best part of your day than stop listening to a podcast and give the world what they want. My podcast. So here we are. Now this solitary cycling page, absolutely fantastic. You've got people on there, they're posting the pictures where they've cycled to during the day, they're posting the times, the routes, the maps, best place to go cycling in a certain area. It's a hive of information, and not one of them will say, hey, I live near you, why don't we go for a cycle around there? Because they know the rules. Solitary cycling. Now, since I joined in March 2020, 4.5 years ago, it's been fucking great. There's been a couple of people from my hometown that are on there. I've shared the cycles I used to do in West Yorkshire. There are people that live over in Japan that share their cycles around Miura. And you're able to exchange information. And it's just absolutely fantastic. Now, fast forward to about 2 months ago. Now, this just shows the temperature of the world. Now, what I've just explained to you there is what people are sharing. Maps, photos, advice. Bikes that they're doing their cycling on. That's it. That's all there is. Now, in the last few months, I would say since the start of spring, it started getting a bit woke. Now, when I say woke, I mean shite, stupid, ridiculous. That's what woke means. That's what translates as the word woke. In my mind, anyway. So, around March or April, I saw comments like, oh, this page doesn't align with my political beliefs. There's no gender equality. And all that sort of business starts cropping up. And I'm like, oh God, we're starting to get infected. And you just get these limp-wristed fellas that agree with these women in just the desperate hope that these women that are complaining about the page might just part the whiskers for a fella that's giving them a bit of support. What a fucking grip. So on and on this went, and then there's no wrong with this. And then there's this fella called Jeff from Castleford, who now is a cross-dresser. Can you say cross-dresser? Or have you got to say transgender? I don't know. He looks like he hasn't had the jewels whipped off. Anyway, he's dressed up in women's cycling gear, right down to a little skirt with cycling shorts underneath, full makeup. And he wants to be accepted. Now, for them of you who don't know where Castleford is in between Leeds and Hull, going out on your way to Humberside. And it's a pit town. It's a miners' town. It's a town that if you would go there today, in 2024, you'd feel like you'd stepped off the bus in 1964. So, 6-foot Jeff cycling round Castleford in full makeup and women's cycling gear is not gonna go down so well. And I'm not having a go, but old Jeff is not going to be going home with the teeth that he walked out the door with if he cycles round Castleford. So what he does is, he gets himself dolled up, he throws his bike in back at van, and he drives up to York, and he goes and cycles round York, which is North Yorkshire's kind of like, it's the posh end of Yorkshire. If you go anywhere over the border in North Yorkshire is quite posh. So he goes up there. For me to say to Jeff, look, do you go cycling up in York because cycling in that get-up ain't going to go down so well in Castleford? You know, it's an innocent comment. I'd just like to know. It caused a bit of a shit show. So I thought, right, I'll keep my hand out. So Saturday, after about 3 months of this page getting incredibly woke, people just introducing themselves by the pronouns and posting pictures of when they're going cycling behind a pride march. And there's no wrong with pride marches, but when you're taking your kids to a festival where there's fellas in arseless leather chaps French kissing each other, that's not right. Is it? Is it me? So on Saturday, I posted a picture up of me out cycling in Miura. A really nice photo. I want in it, made it better. And I just posted where I was. Now, the last couple of weeks, there've been people announcing, I'm leaving this page. Like I said, it doesn't align with my political beliefs, gender equality. So I am leaving. So they were announcing that they're going to leave as if anybody actually give a fuck. You know when you've got that knobhead that comes to a party and, you know, he's bringing the fucking whole thing down, and then somebody says something to him because he's been annoying people all night. So these people usually have the thinnest skin in the world. So you say something back to them, they get instantly upset and they announce that they're leaving, as if anybody in that party would give a shit. So these woke fuckers with rainbows as profile pictures, a rake of them start announcing, I am leaving this page. I'm leaving this page, as if anybody gives a shit. So on Saturday I just put, I am a heterosexual man living in the Far East of Asia, and I want to announce that I am staying on this page. I enjoy looking at the maps, the bicycles that you're riding, the rides that you go on, and most of all, your photos. So those of you who leave, the minority who've decided to leave, please do it in secret, as the majority don't give a single flying fuck. And then I left it. Now, what I usually do when I post something like that, I love throwing petrol on fire. I usually turn off the comments, but I forgot to do it with this one. So I went back to watching Netflix, as I do for the last half hour a day before I go to bed. By the way, the Korean drama Stranger, you need to get all over that. It's fucking fantastic. So I'm watching an episode of Stranger. That finished. I set my alarm for the following morning. But as I've opened the screen, it's still on my post on this solitary cycling page on Facebook. And it's already got 150 likes and laughs and hearts and shit. And then I think there'd been about 13 or 14 comments, which most of them were from the woke community, woke/shite community. And then there were a few that were in support. And I thought, oh, fucking hell, I don't want to be reading this. So I switched off the commenting and fucked off to bed. Slept like a fucking baby. Woke up in the morning and I've got a friend in Sydney who's from Bradford, who's on this page as well. And he'd sent me a message on Facebook Messenger saying, Jesus Christ, you've opened a right can of worms there. And they were telling me that it got up to something like 450 likes and there were people just fighting online about what I'd said. The fact that I had to announce myself as a white heterosexual man. Now, when you do introduce yourself as a heterosexual man, people really, really do get super annoyed with you for being of that genre, shall we say. And it's usually the people that are throwing out their pronouns before you've even shook their hand that are getting the most pissed off. So when I identify myself as a white heterosexual man, that seems to piss them off the most. So I think in the future, I'm just going to keep doing that with a big old smile on my face. And this is what I'm talking about. I think the world is finally coming back to centre now. Or you think it is. Now, moving on from this subject, but staying on it slightly, all this diversity shite. Now, I know everybody deserves a fair crack of the whip, but all that has come to pass now, I think, since Trump got shot at the other day. Now, when you see important people getting shot at, it doesn't matter how important they are. If there's a risk to their life, they are fucking brought to the ground and dragged off like an old drunk in a nightclub that's just goosed up one of customers. The Secret Service are on them, and they should be dragging that fucking fella or woman to the nearest car, and they should be out of the danger area within 20 or 30 seconds. And it's usually big, burly men, mostly ex-special forces or certainly close protection trained. Now, I did a little bit of that when I were in the military myself, but not for super important people, but you were still trained up and you know what to do. What I saw when Trump got shot in here was a right shit show. And it makes you wonder if they were told, you know, if out does happen, just make it look like you're doing your job right. Now, when I'm going on about diversity here, if you're protecting a fella that's 260 pounds and he needs getting out of there quickly, you shouldn't be employing fat women. You really shouldn't be employing fat women. Now, when I were in the military and I were getting trained up in this job, you had to be able to get out your pistol from wherever it were on your belt and have it ready to fire and put it back in your belt, safety on, in the dark, in the pitch dark. They would put glasses over you, tape with socks on the inside of the sunglasses. They'd put the socks to your face, they'd put the glasses over the socks, and then they would tape them to your face. And then you would have your gun in position where it were the most comfortable for you. You would do the training first with the glasses off, and they would time how quickly you could get that gun out of the holster and have it ready pointing at someone. And you would go around your belt, centimetre by centimetre, and they would time the position. And whichever position of that belt you got your gun out of the fastest, that is where your gun holster would sit. Don't matter if it wasn't the most comfortable of places for you, that's where it'd go. And you'd be able to put it in and take it out without even thinking about where it was. Hours and hours were spent doing that in the dark. Now, when Trump got shot in ear, he had a chance to put his hand to his ear and he dropped himself. He dropped by himself. That shouldn't be happening. The security should be straight on him and dropping him as soon as they hear that first crack. That's how close they should be. That's why it's called close protection. He dropped by himself. I think the young lad got a few more shots off before he was neutralised. And then this security detail, I wouldn't say come bumbling on, but when you see the real professionals doing it and you see them, they come fucking bumbling on. Now, he's there, probably in shock. He's got blood all over his face. He's giving himself a couple of seconds to get to. He shouldn't be doing that. He should have been gone by then. He even says to him, they're ready to drag him away, and he's going, my shoes, I've got to put my shoes on. As soon as a VIP gets shot, that VIP has got no power whatsoever. The power immediately gets shifted to the security detail and they are in charge. All power the person had, don't matter whether you're the most powerful man in the world, it's gone. It's disappeared. You are now the property of the Secret Service. And then he's going, let me get my shoes. That should have all been ignored and he should have been getting dragged away. Now they're surrounding him as if he's some sort of fucking balloon. He's able to start punching fists, going fight, fight, fight. And if there had been multiple gunmen, he was that much of a target that somebody else could have popped a few off and got him there. But his security detail are just listening to him. Now this woman, she stood in front of Trump as he's going towards car. He's in the car, she's trying to put a gun away, but the rolls of fat that she's got on her stomach, she's unable to get a gun back in her holster. And she tries once, she couldn't do it. She's lifting up her gut, she tries twice, she couldn't do it. So Trump gets in the car and she's still got a gun in her hand. Now when you're getting in the car with the president or the ex-president, guns need to be holstered unless you're returning fire. And once that car door's shut, those windows don't roll down. Those windows can't really be penetrated. And yet, your gun needs to be in your holster. But this fatso, this fucking whale, this woman, in the name of diversity, doing a man's job, she's too fucking fat to get a gun back in holster. What the fuck are we playing at? What are we playing at? Now, you can come at me with you fucking misogynist bastard. You can come at me with like that, but watch it. Have a look at it. And you'll see. You'll fucking see. I don't think Trump picked this detail. I don't think they'll be with him again. I mean, the woman who's in charge of this, the Secret Service, Cheadle her name is, the gunman, they said, oh, we didn't put anybody up on that roof because it was sloped and it was too dangerous for the Secret Service. I mean, I've not been in the military for over 35 years now. And I know that a sloped roof, a gunman on that sloped roof is out of the light, well, is quite hidden. Not completely hidden, because you've got to put your head over the parapet a bit to get your shot off. But if it's a sloped roof, it's like shooting from behind a mound. You know, you've got a bit of protection. So you should be having people within a 500-yard radius. If there's a sloped roof, there should be people on that roof. And her feeble excuse was, it was too dangerous to put Secret Service up there, so we secured the inside of the building. Now, the key word there is inside. They might have secured the inside of the building, they didn't secure the outside, and there were a ladder connected to the wall of that building that the lad climbed up. 30 minutes before Trump went on stage, there were people going to police saying, there's a fella up there with a gun. No, we're done. It all smells a bit fishy. Now, it's Tuesday here in Japan. Biden stepped down. He's gone, oh, fuck this. I can't be arsed with this shit anymore. He's just got over COVID. He's washed his hands of it all. Kamala Harris has stepped in. She's not going to get it. So Trump's going to be back in. He'll find out what went on. And he'll be coming for him. So, the next episode on Netflix of USA is going to be quite hilarious. And I look forward to more fat, pronouned up women on security details. Hopefully in the next episode with purple hair. That would be absolutely fantastic. So, I'm going to get on with my cycle. I'm going to stop all this fucking moaning, because this is the time of day when I'm all zen and serene, and I'm going on about fat lesbians with guns that can't put them back in an holster. So that's that, and that's that. I will see you when I see you, and I'm going to start climbing this hill now and get a bit of a sweat on. Adios, everybody. See you next time.
Up on a roof, up on a roof. When this whole world starts getting me down, and people are just too much for me to face. Up on the roof, I climb way up to the top of the stairs, and all my cares just drift right into space.